The views, information, and opinions expressed during the following program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent the views of Access Communications, its representatives, or its employees.
Good evening, everyone, and I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Estevan City Council for April 28th, 2025. And I'd like to mention this evening that we have Mayor Tony Cernick on our Zoom connection. He's with us. And also we are down one councillor, Councillor Moss. He's involved with the federal election this evening, and he will be busy doing those counts. So, on with the next item on the agenda would be the presentations. We don't have any presentations this evening. So, we go to the next item would be the first item. Can I have a motion to accept the agenda, please, from the council? First one is Councillor Walliser and seconded by Councillor Dombrowski. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor? Tony's voting too. Carried. Next item is, can I have a motion to accept the minutes of April 7th, 2025? I need Councillor to vote on that. Councillor Dombrowski, and seconded by Councillor Elliott. Thank you. Any questions or comments? Hearing, going once, hearing none. All in favor? All in favor, thank you. Carried. Moving right along. Next item is original communications, delegations, and petitions. And the first item would be the concerns, the Rotary Club of Estevan permit for the Lobster Fest, June the 6th, 2025. Can I have a motion for this agenda item, please, from Council? Councillor Elliott, thank you, and seconded by Councillor Baroba. Any questions or comments? One question, okay, Councillor Elliott.
First, do I call you Your Worship or Mr. Chairman?
No, you call me Deputy Mayor Johnson.
Deputy Mayor Johnson, just so the folks watching know, this is it's a request for approval to have liquor sold at the Lobster Fest. So that's what I was so sorry. It's a request for permission to sell liquor at the Lobster Fest. So that's what I was moving in favor of.
Okay. And that was the questions and the comments towards that. I did ask prior to the meeting before it started if I was to read all the information that has been provided, but we didn't get into that. But if you want me to read it, I can go into that.
Deputy Mayor, I don't think we need to read the whole thing. Just
okay.
I was just telling them what the request was.
Okay, thank you. No, that's fair.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's what it's all about. So did we have a motion for that and a seconder? All in favor? All in favor? Council's all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next item along is under original communications, delegations, and petitions. There is a request from the Estevan Exhibition Association to amend the association's event permit for the Energy City X. Can I have a motion for this item? Thank you, Councillor Walliser. Seconded by Councillor Baroba. Thank you. Is there any questions or comments regarding this item? Okay, it was before us once before, but there's some changes to it now, so they'd like to encompass all of their permits underneath one. So, all in favor, please? We're all in favor? Carried. Thank you. And moving right along. Lastly, under original communications, delegations, and petitions is the GFL CART report for March 2025. Can I have a motion for this agenda item? Mayor Cernak, you had your hand up, I see. Okay, yes, okay, thank you. And seconded by Councillor Dombowski. Okay, any questions or concerns or mentions with the GFL report? I'd like to point out that there's one item there in this GFL report where it does mention all of the repairs that they're doing to the carts. So it's nice to see that they're taking in some of those carts, and those carts are being replaced with new wheels and lids and maybe a whole new cart if it's been taken away. So, and we're all in favor of this. Oh no, I need a motion for that. Okay, first motion, Councillor Elliott.
You have a motion.
Oh, I already have a motion, I'm sorry. Okay, and we have a seconder. All in favor? And that's carried too. Okay, next item is minutes of the Estevan Regional Library Board meeting. And the minutes are March 18th, 2025. And what is the wish of council? Can I have this as a motion too, please, underneath that? Councillor Elliott and seconded by Councillor Dombowski. Is there any questions or concerns or mentions, please? Councillor Elliott.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Within that, there's made a change. That's one of the boards I sit on. We made a change under the recommendation of the manager of the library to raise the age as far as unaccompanied children. So it's now anybody under the age of 11 must be accompanied by an adult, and it's because of concerns he has. There'll be an event going on or a hockey tournament or something, and a lot of people would kind of use the library sort of like some place to put the smaller children, and he's been really trying to discourage that because there's no way for them to police who they came in with or who they're going out with. So that's the reason for the change in the age.
Thanks, Councillor Elliott, for that information. It's good to see. Anyway, we basically need all in favor of this. Thank you. And that's carried too. Next item. The minutes of the Southeast Transportation Planning Committee, March 25th, 2025. And what is the wish of council? Can I have a motion for this agenda item, please? Thanks, Councillor Veroba. Seconded by Councillor Walliser. Is there any questions or comments or concerns with the minutes there? Or ask of me, I guess I'm the rep on the board, so you can ask me those questions directly. Anything that you see there that you want to ask? Hearing none. All in favor? That one's carried too. Next item is the minutes of Creighton Lodge Committee for March 19th, 2025. And what is the wish of council? Can I have a motion for this agenda item, please? Councillor Elliott, seconded by Councillor Dombowski. Thank you. Any questions or concerns with the minutes there, or anything you want to ask? Any questions there? Hearing none. All in favor, please. Thank you. Carried. Next item would be executive reports. Thank you. Under executive reports, there's a report from the Public Works Manager for a tender for traffic paint with a recommendation to approve the Sherwin-Williams Pro-Mar line paint. Can I have a motion for this agenda item, please? Councillor Veroba, thank you. And just one other seconder would be Councillor Walliser. Thank you. And is there any questions or comments, please?
I just want to clarify that my motion is that I recommend that we go with the Sherwin-Williams Pro-Mar line at $39,951.85. That is the most cost effective and within our 2025 allocated budget.
Thank you. Okay, so that's the recommendation. So along with that, we have a first and a seconder from council. All those in favor? All in favor? Thank you. And that's carried too. Next, we have another item under executive reports. There's a report from Public Works Manager for the tender for dust control with a recommendation to improve Fort distributions, sorry. Distributors. Can I have a motion for this agenda item, please, from council? Council Walizer, first motion, and seconded by Councilor Baroba. Is there any questions or concerns with awarding this tender? Sorry, over to Councilor Walizer.
My motion is to follow the recommendations of management that say we continue to use Fort distributors as they are the most cost-effective and within our 2025 allocated budget.
Okay.
And a question to our Public Works manager. There has been requests in the past for a third coating of dust control in certain areas. Does the allotted amount cover those?
Thank you very much. Okay, so we've got a first and a seconder. Now all in favor, any other? Everybody's got their hand up? And that one's carried. I think there's one more here in this mix. Under executive reports, there is a report from Public Works Manager for a tender for 3/4 inch minus gravel with a recommendation to approve Genco. Can I have a motion from City Council, from the council? Councilor Dombowski, did you have your hand up? No? Oh, sorry. Councilor Baroba, seconded by Councilor Dombowski. Thank you very much. And over to Councilor Baroba.
Just to clarify that my recommendation, my motion is the recommendation of management for roads and drainage, recommend Genco at $86,695 to haul in this gravel. It is the most cost effective and within our 2025 budget amount.
Thank you, Councilor Baroba. Okay, any other questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor? Okay, thank you very much. And that one's carried also. Next item is under executive reports. There is a report from the Land Development Manager for the Drader Street project. Can I have a motion for this agenda item, please, from Estevan City Council? Councilor Dombowski, and a seconder, please, for this item. Councilor Elliott, thank you very much. And yes?
What is their motion? What is your motion? To
What
bring
is-
it to the floor or to do the recommendation?
I would, what is,
Is that Councilor Grabowski or Councilor Walizer?
It's Councilor Lebowski.
sorry?
I will make the motion that we bring it to floor
Okay.
to discuss.
Bring it to the floor to discuss? Okay. All those in favor? Sorry?
You're okay with the seconding?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yep.
Okay, so this is going to be being brought to the floor for discussion. All those in favor, please? And that's carried. So we're going to have a discussion on this evening.
Let's start with Richard.
Okay, Richard, are you going to be able to inform us with this information this evening, please?
Just on the report that's an open.
The report on open. Yes, please. Okay, so we'll have Richard Neufeld, our Land Development Officer, come up to the mic and read us the report. Thanks, Richard.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor and Council. Based on what happened in the previous council meeting, we did some digging, and I much appreciate the assistance that was given by the city clerk's office. So we did find some information. To highlight what happened there last meeting, the owner of the easternmost property raised concern, basically stated that they were planting trees and doing lawn care on the what would be right now the southernmost lot on the Drader Street project. And in 2011, we found this paperwork that that particular landowner also submitted a proposal to rezone the land from urban reserve at that time to low-density residential. And the recommendation in 2011 by my predecessor was to refuse the application. And that proposed rezoning change was not incorporated into the 2010 zoning bylaw. There was also, at that time, I believe I submitted, council should have it, there was a very rough design that was presented by my predecessor. That was done in 1999 without the benefit of contour elevations or water, sewer, lift station review or anything like that. And as stated in his report, that was no more than an illustration. It wasn't part of the 2010 OCP. When that proposal was submitted, the land was subject to the OCP of 2010. At that point, as issued in the report, and I checked with our city engineer, there were servicing issues as well on that property. Mainly the inability to provide water and sanitary services there, lack of capacity. It should be noted it was a couple of years after that when the Morski area started developing, and of course at that time those problems were dealt with. The current municipal plan has it as future development for residential use, and the existing drainer area is for future residential use. A neighborhood plan is necessary, in my view, for large-scale development. The balance of the parcel is currently 110 hectares, which would be about 274 acres in size. The zoning proposal that council's looking at was to rezone it from agriculture to our current residential estate district. These three lots, as I said before, would be the limit of what the city could potentially do on that area at that location without a neighborhood plan. One thing I would like to highlight to council, based on what was going on in 2011, council before then, and it wasn't highlighted in the report, but at that point and to today, has had a long-standing practice of not selling developable properties to landowners without a firm commitment that the property be developed at a later date. So that wasn't brought up in the report, but having that land just for private park purposes would be contrary to that practice. And I, as a city planner, I support that practice for a number of reasons. So there's some considerations for council to look at. One is a long history of deterrence of people purchasing property that could be developed and just to have it as for extra space. We do not have on our record a option to purchase agreement between the landowner and the city, and does not appear that there was a lease agreement entered into for the use of that park for private park purposes either. There was a warning in the report to council though in 2011 that basically stating improving for park purposes someone else's property without any agreement in place is potentially dangerous because there's no long-term commitment to that use. And finally, I guess to date, I still have not received any written objections to the subdivision itself. The verbal objection seems to be more oriented towards who would eventually own the property should it be created. And on those reasons, council, I stand by the recommendation I provided last council meeting. And I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Thank you, Richard. Okay.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Just to add to that, the bylaws for second and third reading were moved to the May 12th meeting because of the discussion that could happen tonight on those. So even though we can approve this report to move forward, the actual road closure and subdivision would not be happening until May 12th to give second and third reading.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And Councillor Verova, you had a
Thank you,
question?
Deputy Mayor Johnson. Yeah, just in the 9 years that I've been on council, we have had a couple of instances where people have put the deposit down to purchase the land or went ahead and purchased the land. And they have not built a home in the allotted time that was allowed in the agreement. And then those properties are taken back by the city and put back up for sale. And so that in those cases, there have been deposits that have been basically relinquished to the city in that area. So I 100% support, if we're gonna develop this and move forward, that a house would be put on all 3 lots.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other comments or questions of Richard this evening? Hearing none. All in favor with the report and the, sorry, we have a motion?
We only have a motion to just speak about it, but I would like to make a motion to move forward with the recommendations in the report, which would bring us to the readings on May 12th.
Okay. And those are all those motions that were
Yep, all
listed?
7 of the recommendations.
All those recommendations there. Okay. So all in favor of all those? We need a seconder for that. Okay, Councillor Elliott, thank you very much. All those in favor? Thanks. Thank you. Thanks, Richard. Okay. Next item is under executive reports. There's a report from the Chief of Fire Services pertaining to the bylaw enforcement. Can I have a motion for this agenda item, please? Councillor Verova and Councillor Elliott, thank you very much. Any questions or comments? So one question over here with Councillor Verova.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Johnson. I'm really thankful that we got these reports, so thank you for getting them. Also, I think we really, as a council, also need to start looking at some of the properties that are out there. I know there's one on King Street that's really becoming an eyesore, and I think as a city, we need to nip that in the bud. We can't keep letting people just have their garbage sprawl out all over the property. And I do believe that this property is a rental. It is more than likely the people renting the property that are sprawling this garbage, but it's absolutely an eyesore. And I drive by it every day, and every day I want to stop by and knock on their door and say, hey, it's time to pick the garbage up. But that's a bylaw job, so we're going to leave that in bylaw. But I think it's our job as a city council to develop strong bylaws to make sure that she can do her job. So I just want to make sure if, after we can talk, maybe possibly about looking with the bylaw officer, what does she need or what do we need to do so that we don't have to have that type of thing happening on our property for any length of time. I know that there's like the 2 weeks notice, that kind of thing that has to happen, but this has been going on since winter, and that now the garbage is just going more and more and more, and if you drive around, there's a few more properties that are starting to look like that as well. So I just think it's up to us now that we give her the bylaws and the teeth needed to be able to control those properties before they get as bad as the one on King Street.
Thank you, Councillor Verova. And City Manager, you had to comment?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, to Councilor Verova. We're currently in transition of the programs that we use to track and pay these programs. There's also Fire Chief Davies is looking into allocating duties to other people in that the fire hall that can do additional service there. So I'm thinking here by the fall we will have a revamped bylaw in how it's attacked. So I think hopefully people will see some of these items that are lingering be addressed, in addition to the high volume of dogs and cats and a lot of the stuff that the bylaw is dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So I can provide a report here in about a month on how we plan to increase our ability for our bylaw enforcement.
Perfect, that would be really good, because I do think that we have to do something, because if we just continue to allow it to look the way it does, that's just one property, but then the people who live beside them are now having to put up with that. So I think it'll just be great if we can, so thank you.
Councillor Domowski, you had your hand up also.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Just wanted to agree with Councillor Verova, and I have a question regarding the report here as well. To maybe City Manager might be able to answer this. What would fall under? I see there's parking complaints and parking violations. What would fall under a complaint versus a violation?
Thank you, Councillor Dabowski. I can follow up on the exact amount of those, but I believe one would be in breach of the parking permits in place. So if you're longer than 2 hours in a certain area, whereas a parking complaint might be someone has a RV parked in front of their house for more than 24 hours. Some of those are bylaw related and some of them would be enforced by the police for signage. That would be my assumption, but I can definitely get a report back to you on that.
Okay, and I wholeheartedly agree with you, Councillor Verova, with your comments about unsightly properties. I have, been around the community too this spring, looking at some of them myself, and we need to do something. Totally. I'm totally on board with that train of thought. Thank you very much. Okay. So basically we need let's see here, we have a first and a seconder. We need all in favor, I guess. And that one's carried too. Thanks for having that report brought forward, City Manager. Okay, next is giving notice. There is a proclamation from the Estevan Economic Development. And can I have a motion for this agenda item, please, from City Council? Councillor Walliser, thank you for first, and seconded by Councillor Dombowski. Thank you. Is there any questions or comments about this proclamation request, please, this evening? Hearing none. All in favor? And that one's carried also. Okay. Next is another under giving notice. There's an illumination request from the Fibromyalgia Association of Canada. Can I have a motion for this item? I need two councillors. Councillor Walliser, thank you, and seconded by Councillor Dombowski. Is there any questions or comments regarding this request? Sorry, Councillor
I'd like
Walliser.
to state my motion. My motion is that we do not proceed with the fibromyalgia request, as our policy is there must be a local member that brings it forward, and there is not in this situation.
Okay. Alrighty. So we're going to be taking that into consideration.
You have to ask Councillor Dabowski if he agrees with that motion or not.
Councillor Dabowski, do you agree with that motion then? Okay. I wasn't aware of that. Thank you for that information though, Councillor Walliser. Okay. So I guess at this present time, this is, sorry, Councillor Verova?
Just to clarify, Deputy Mayor, is that the reason why we have that in our policy is because we could constantly be emailed different things from different organizations, and we don't have anyone here to speak on it locally. So that was one of the reasons why it's in there. So it isn't anything against Fibromyalgia Association of Canada. It's just something to make sure that what we are doing, we're not changing the lights or changing everything every second day based on emails we receive or different things.
Gotcha. I understand. Very good. Okay. So this request is going to be denied. So we'll need a... all in favor of this request being denied? Sorry?
Ask for opposed.
And ask for any of council that are opposed of this request for having it denied. Hearing none? We're all in favor of having this request denied this evening. Thank you. Okay, next is inquiries. Sorry?
Councillor Walliser, return of the garbage can.
Oh, sorry. Did I miss one?
No, yeah, it's on your agenda items.
Didn't see it.
Verbal report.
Oh,
That's what it.
okay. I missed that one. Sorry about that, Councillor Walliser. Councillor Walliser this evening has mention here for us this evening for the return of the golden garbage can. I'm going to hand it over to Councillor Walliser, please. Can you talk to this item, please?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. This request originally came from the City of Weyburn on behalf of their mayor and council. They had appointed Councillor Kelly Sidlowski as their representative, and the City of Estevan agreed with the request to bring back the golden garbage can competition, and I am the representative for that. Kelly and I are sharing the following with our councils and communities tonight. we're excited to announce the return of a friendly, fun tradition between the communities of Estevan and Weyburn, the Golden Garbage Can Competition. This light-hearted rivalry is about community pride, cleanliness, and showing the best of what our cities have to offer. The Golden Garbage Can Competition promotes residential cleanup, encouraging everyone to take part in sprucing up their homes, yards, and neighborhoods. On June 9th, a panel of 5 judges will tour Estevan and Weyburn, taking in the efforts of each community. The city that shines the brightest will be awarded the coveted Golden Garbage Can Award and, of course, the bragging rights until next year. Let's come together, have some fun, and show how much pride we take in our communities. Whether it's pulling weeds, picking litter, or planting flowers, every little effort counts. Together we can make a big difference and maybe even bring home the coveted can. Let the friendly competition begin.
So this is an official kickoff here this evening? Okay, so there you have it from Councillor Oleaser. Game 1 against City of Weyburn for the Golden Garbage Can Award. Okay, thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is inquiries, and I'll go over to around the horn here this evening. Councillor Veroba, do you have any inquiries this evening?
I do. City Manager, do we know when the weekend is for the free landfill? I said May long possibly, but I wasn't 100%.
Thank you, Councilor Veroba. Yes, we had our advertising out for Operation Clean Sweep, and it's that week of May 22nd.
May 20, okay, perfect. And then the other thing was, I'm sure all of us may actually talk about some of it, so I won't talk about all of it, but we did attend the SUMA conference. I also attended an educational regarding strategic and financial planning with the municipalities. Addictions, mental health, and housing, those were the issues and the biggest conversations that I took part in, and that were talked about quite a bit across with SUMA. Right across our province, most communities are dealing with those issues, so it was interesting to be able to network. Again, I don't want to talk about too much about SUMA because there were some different things that happened with each one of us on council, so I thought it was a very good conference this year, and yeah, so that's pretty much all my inquiries.
Thank you, Councillor Veroba. City Manager, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. So the free landfill weekend is the May 24th and 25th, but you'll see crews out throughout the city Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as well, cleaning up the areas. But the free landfill is the Saturday, Sunday, the 24th and the 25th.
Okay, so, and then also with United Way Day of Caring is going to be happening this year, May 28th. And so maybe for the next meeting, I will see if United Way can bring something forward to, we usually make something.
It's already in there.
It's already in, perfect, so that will be taken care of as well. Very efficient, thank you.
Thank you very much, City Manager and Councillor Veroba. Next on the agenda would be talking about inquiries with Councillor Elliott. Do you have any inquiries this evening?
Thanks, Deputy Mayor. SUMA was a good mention. I did learn that most communities in Saskatchewan are all sharing the same problems, but Estevan stands out in that in the past, starting, if I remember correctly, around 2000, the council and management changed their approach to our pipes and pavement and started going through and working with the oldest and going around the city, and our water break rate is so much lower than almost anybody else out there. We're really fortunate to have had some great leadership in the past, and hopefully we won't screw it up. And I noticed lately there's a lot of people who are out of blinker fluid in Estevan. So if you can stop by Canadian Tire or some other business and buy some blinker fluid and get them signals working again.
Well, thank you very much. Mayor Cernick, do you have any inquiries this evening? I'm asking of you. Do you hear me?
Yep, no inquiries tonight, but, no, just I'm actually attending the Williston Basin Petroleum Conference for the next few days, pulling double duty, representing the city and Mathil Artificial Lift, so that's where I will be until Wednesday evening, and we'll see where it all goes, see if anything new comes about.
Thank you, Mayor Cernick. Have a good plug for Estevan Inn down there, please, with the oil industry, as we're related to Williston very closely. Yeah, thank you very much for attending. Councillor Dombowski, do you have any inquiries this evening?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Yeah, I, as well as the rest of us, attended SUMA. and it was quite informative. It was very exhausting for sure. It was the first kind of large scale event I've really gone to like that. So it was very, very tiring and taxing on the brain. But yeah, so one of the things I learned, which I think was probably the most important, is that while Estevan does have unique issues, we very much follow in line with municipalities across Saskatchewan with mental health issues, addictions, and homelessness and all that sorts. It's just usually at a lower scale because we're smaller. But there was a post by, I believe, the city of Estevan that was kind of like a summary. And I said a quote on there was that, and I'll read it here, there's only so much we can do to fundamentally change and improve some of these issues. So that puts urgency on the importance on our community and the citizens within to express empathy and sympathy in these times and to try and understand the different struggles people face within our community and others as well. And that's basically just saying some of these issues won't be fixed overnight. Maybe it'll take years to fix. So it's really up to the community to just be kind to each other, be understanding, and yeah, it's really going to be a lot of community building until stuff gets actually better. And then to go down a less positive path, I do want to bring up the tragic event that happened at Vancouver on Saturday. It was during a Filipino festival called, I'm probably gonna get this wrong, Lapu-Lapu Day. I'm not gonna pretend to be an expert and know exactly what all that is. I just know that from quick research, he was a Filipino chief in 1521 and became a nationwide hero. I obviously won't understand the effects on those affected directly and the Filipino community as a whole, but I will give my sympathy and solidarity with everyone affected and the community. It's really a tragedy, and stuff like this really shouldn't be happening, but unfortunately it does. So yeah, my sympathy goes out to everyone affected by that. That's all.
Thank you very much, Councillor Dombowski, for those good inquiries and that mention especially. Thank you very much. Councillor Walliser.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I would like to remind the community that it is the Tim Hortons Smile Cookie campaign this week, and that all proceeds raised in Estevan stay in Estevan to support both the early years family center as well as the Estevan Public Youth Center. So that means each cookie you eat this year will give $1 towards those 0 to 17 having free programming available within our community. And also, when you turn the page later this week to May, to mark your calendar for Thursday, May 8th, that is the return of McHappy Day, which is extra special this year because the Ronald McDonald Foundation has announced they are building homes in both Regina and Prince Albert to support additional families accessing medical care closer to home.
Thank you, Councillor Walliser. City Manager, do you have any inquiries this evening or mentions?
Nothing out of it.
Okay, I'd like to just mention and touch off with the event that we all attended, most of us attended, on the weekend, and it was sponsoring with the Creighton Lodge. It was a fundraiser, and they had a very good band called the Unkulas. They were from Moose Jaw, and we all enjoyed the tunes that were played. We all enjoyed the good meal that was hosted and put on for us that evening. And the auctioneer of the evening and all the prizes and awards that were handed out and all the silent auction items that were donated by the local businesses. And I would like to thank Councillor Baroba for all her hard work and her dedication to bring this event, out in the community for all of us.
I just want to mention, thank you for that, but there's a committee that doesn't always get recognized as much as they should, but this year that committee worked very hard, and so thank you for bringing that up, because we had huge community support, and so that was an awesome evening, and it'll be the seniors of this community and surrounding areas that benefit from that night, so thank you.
Yeah, truly a great evening. Just like to mention one last item is last Thursday I had the opportunity to talk to Mandy, and Mandy uses a lot of the city paint that we purchased this evening, and she's out there in the community doing a lot of the line painting and the crosswalks, and she paints all year round the city streets, the boulevards, the crosswalks. She has her template there in her trailer, in her truck, and I had the chance to go up and introduce myself and take a look at the job that she does, and I'll tell you, that lady is something else. She does a real good job. So I had to shake her hand and tell her, yay hi, give her a high five. So pass it along, Jeff. You got a very good city employee there that's doing some line painting in the city of Estevan for us. And inquiries are all done this evening. City Clerk, did you have any inquiries? No? Okay. Can I have a motion for council to go into committee, please, this evening? Councillor Dombowski, and seconded by Councillor Elliott. Two councillors making the motion. And that's basically, we stand, no? Call for the vote. Okay, all those in favor? Sorry, I didn't see that on there. Okay, and carried. Thank you very much.
If you'd like to share your feedback on the program you just watched, contact us today